Cowboys Nation, the conversation around Dallas is heating up as the offseason approaches, and the latest information circulating around the league suggests that the organization is already mapping out a very specific plan for how it wants to reshape the roster. After another season that left fans wanting more, the focus in Dallas is clear: strengthen the defense, add depth in critical areas, and make sure the roster fits the vision of the new defensive structure that is being implemented. There's a sense that the front office understands that standing still is not an option, and the moves made over the next few months could shape the direction of this team for several seasons. One name that has quickly emerged as a strong possibility on the Cowboys' radar is linebacker Nakobe Dean. Around the league, there's been growing chatter that Dallas could seriously pursue the talented defender once the opportunity arises. Dean is a fascinating case because his recent season showed flashes of exactly the kind of impact player that defensive coordinators love to build around. After working his way back from injury, he began to show why so many evaluators believed he had the potential to become a difference maker at the professional level. His instincts around the football, his ability to read developing plays, and the way he accelerates downhill when he sees a gap all stood out during the later stages of the season. For Dallas, adding a player with that kind of awareness could bring stability to a position group that has experienced plenty of rotation in recent years. Linebacker has been one of those spots where the Cowboys have been searching for a clear leader on the field, someone capable of organizing the defense and reacting quickly to offensive adjustments. Dean has shown signs that he could fill that role. While he may not be known as an elite coverage linebacker, what he does bring is strong football intelligence and the kind of aggressive style that can disrupt running plays before they ever get started. Another interesting aspect of the potential fit is how he would align within the defensive philosophy currently being developed in Dallas. The scheme requires linebackers who can process quickly, communicate effectively, and occasionally contribute to the pass rush through well-timed blitzes. That last element became a bigger part of Dean's game as the season progressed. There were several moments where he demonstrated an ability to pressure the quarterback by attacking interior gaps, forcing offensive lines to react quickly, and creating opportunities for teammates on the edge. What makes this potential move even more intriguing is that it would represent a slight shift from the Cowboys' traditional approach. Historically, the organization has leaned toward certain physical profiles at the linebacker position. Dean, however, represents a more modern style of defender. Quick, instinctive, and built for speed in a league that increasingly demands versatility from its defensive players. That adaptability could be valuable, especially when facing offenses that rely heavily on motion, spread formations, and quick passing concepts. Of course, signing one linebacker alone would not solve every defensive question facing Dallas. Depth remains an important factor, and the team would likely need to continue adding players to round out the position group. Younger linebackers already on the roster are still developing, and while some have shown promise, the expectation was never that they would carry the full responsibility so early in their careers. Bringing in a player like Dean could allow those younger contributors to grow at a more natural pace, while also giving the defense a central communicator who can help organize the unit. At the same time, the Cowboys appear to be evaluating another critical need: improving the pass rush. Pressure on opposing quarterbacks has long been one of the defining elements of successful Dallas defenses, and maintaining that identity will be essential moving forward. Reports suggest that the team is closely monitoring the market for edge defenders who could complement the talent already on the roster. Even if Dallas does not pursue the most expensive options available, the goal seems to be identifying players capable of consistently collapsing the pocket and forcing quarterbacks into difficult decisions. There are several tiers of potential pass rushers expected to become available, and the Cowboys may ultimately focus on the middle of that market. That range could provide a balance between financial flexibility and on-field production. A well-chosen addition in that area might not generate the same headlines as a blockbuster signing, but it could quietly strengthen the defensive front and create more favorable matchups during games. The key will be finding someone who fits the scheme while also bringing the relentless energy required to affect plays week after week. Edge defenders who can win one-on-one battles are incredibly valuable in today's league, and Dallas understands how important it is to maintain pressure without constantly relying on blitzes. When a defensive line can generate disruption on its own, it opens the door for more creative coverage schemes behind it. That balance between pass rush and coverage is often what separates good defenses from great ones. And it appears the Cowboys are trying to address both sides of that equation as they prepare for the upcoming season. Financially, the situation in Dallas is not as restrictive as it might appear at first glance. While the team may currently be navigating salary cap considerations, there are several relatively simple adjustments that could create substantial flexibility. With the right roster moves and contract restructures, the Cowboys could generate a significant amount of space to work with. That flexibility would allow the front office to pursue targeted additions rather than sitting on the sidelines while other teams reshape their rosters. What makes this offseason particularly fascinating for Cowboys fans is the sense that multiple puzzle pieces could come together at once. A linebacker addition, reinforcements along the edge, and strategic upgrades in the secondary could collectively transform the defense into a much more balanced unit. Each move on its own might seem modest, but together they could create the kind of structure that allows the entire defense to play faster and more confidently. As the planning continues behind the scenes, the Cowboys are clearly studying how every position fits within the broader vision of the coaching staff. The goal is not simply to add recognizable names, but to assemble players whose skills complement each other. When that kind of chemistry develops, defenses often begin to operate with a rhythm that makes them difficult for opposing offenses to predict or exploit. And for a team with championship aspirations, building that cohesion on defense could end up being one of the most important steps taken during the entire offseason. As the Cowboys continue evaluating ways to reshape their defensive identity, another area that has quietly emerged as a priority is the safety position. Modern defenses demand versatility from defensive backs, and Dallas appears to be exploring options that would give the secondary greater flexibility. One name that has been gaining attention in league discussions is Jalen Thompson, a player who has built a reputation as one of the more dependable yet underrated safeties in recent seasons. His ability to move around the formation and contribute in multiple roles could be exactly what the Cowboys are looking for as they attempt to build a more adaptable defensive unit. Thompson's value lies in his football intelligence and his comfort operating both deep and closer to the line of scrimmage. Over the past few seasons, he has shown the capacity to read quarterbacks effectively, close passing lanes, and provide support against the run when needed. For a team like Dallas that wants its safeties to communicate quickly and react to constantly shifting offensive formations, that type of experience becomes extremely valuable. He's the kind of player who may not always dominate headlines, but his presence on the field tends to stabilize the entire secondary. Another factor working in his favor is the potential cost. In many offseason markets, certain positions can become inflated very quickly once bidding begins. However, because this year's incoming class of defensive backs from the college ranks is considered particularly strong, some experienced veterans in free agency might become available at more manageable prices. That situation could allow Dallas to secure a proven contributor without needing to commit to a massive contract. If the Cowboys are able to land a safety capable of starting immediately while still preserving financial flexibility, it would represent a smart piece of roster management. Beyond safety, there's another position that could end up playing a pivotal role in Dallas' defensive evolution: the nickel corner spot. In today's league, offenses rely heavily on three receiver sets, which means nickel defenders are often on the field for a majority of defensive snaps. That role requires a unique blend of skills, including quick reactions and coverage, physicality against the run, and the ability to blitz when called upon. Losing a reliable player at that position in the past forced the Cowboys to adjust on the fly, and there's a clear sense that the organization wants to avoid repeating that scenario. The challenge with the nickel corner role is that it demands a specific type of athlete. Players must have the agility to mirror slot receivers who excel in short area routes. Yet they also need the toughness to step into traffic and tackle running backs or tight ends near the line of scrimmage. When a defense finds the right player for that position, the entire system often functions more smoothly because the coaching staff gains the confidence to call a wider variety of coverages and pressure packages. Dallas appears to be exploring several possible options to address this need, including players with experience in multiple defensive alignments. Versatility remains a major theme in the Cowboys' approach this offseason. Rather than relying on rigid positional roles, the defensive staff seems interested in building a group of players capable of shifting responsibilities depending on the situation. That philosophy reflects how offenses have evolved over the past decade, forcing defenses to become more creative and less predictable. While many of the conversations surrounding Dallas have focused on defensive upgrades, another important storyline involves one of the most consistent performers on the roster, kicker Brandon Aubrey. In a league where special teams can swing the outcome of close games, having a reliable kicker is an asset teams rarely take for granted. Aubrey has delivered several crucial moments for the Cowboys, demonstrating both range and composure in high-pressure situations. Because of that consistency, discussions about a long-term contract have become an increasingly important topic as the offseason unfolds. There is growing belief that the Cowboys intend to secure Aubrey with a new agreement that reflects his value to the team. When a kicker proves capable of converting difficult attempts and maintaining accuracy over time, organizations often move quickly to ensure stability at the position. The reasoning is simple. Uncertainty in the kicking game can create unnecessary stress during tight contests. By locking in a dependable specialist, teams remove one potential source of instability. Even if negotiations take a bit longer than expected, Dallas still has options to maintain control over the situation. There are mechanisms available that would allow the team to keep Aubrey in place while continuing to work toward a long-term solution. That approach would ensure the Cowboys do not risk losing a player who has become an important part of their overall game strategy. In many ways, securing his future would be another step toward reinforcing the foundation of a roster. As all of these potential moves are being considered, the front office faces the challenge of balancing immediate needs with long-term vision. Every signing, every contract adjustment, and every strategic decision must fit within a broader plan designed to keep the Cowboys competitive for years to come. Fans often focus on the biggest headlines of the offseason, but the reality is that championship-caliber teams are built through a series of interconnected decisions that gradually strengthen every layer of the roster. For Dallas, the upcoming months represent an opportunity to refine its defensive structure, add experienced contributors in key areas, and maintain stability among players who have already proven their importance. If the team succeeds in executing that plan, the Cowboys could enter the next season with a defense that is deeper, more versatile, and better prepared to handle the diverse offensive challenges presented throughout the league. And as those pieces begin to fall into place, the identity of the team could start evolving into something that reflects both the talent on the roster and the strategic vision guiding the organization forward. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Around league circles, a quiet but intriguing rumor has been gaining volume. MARIST LIUFAU may be in the middle of a positional transformation that could reshape the identity of the Dallas Cowboys defense. Officially, nothing has been announced. Unofficially, whispers suggest that LIUFAU is being tested far beyond the role he was initially projected to fill, and the early impressions have sparked serious internal excitement. Sources close to the situation describe a coaching staff eager to unlock versatility rather than pigeonhole talent. LIUFAU, known for his physical edge and disciplined approach, is rumored to be lining up in spots that blur traditional defensive labels. Instead of operating strictly within one positional box, he has reportedly been moving across the second level, occasionally dropping deeper, occasionally attacking downhill, creating matchup problems that offenses are not built to solve easily. The speculation is that this shift is less about filling a gap and more about redefining structure. By repositioning LIUFAU, the Cowboys could be aiming to disguise intentions pre-snap, allowing the defense to morph seamlessly between aggressive pressure looks and more conservative coverage shells. Those observing practice environments hint that communication has tightened, reactions look faster, and the unit appears to feed off the unpredictability this adjustment creates. What makes the rumor compelling is how naturally LIUFAU is said to be adapting. Players who can absorb a new mental load while maintaining physical intensity are rare, and that rarity is exactly what fuels the belief that this experiment could stick. If the transition holds, it may signal a philosophical turn, one where flexibility outweighs tradition and roles are earned snap by snap rather than assigned by depth chart. For now, it remains speculation, the kind that lives in hushed conversations and sideline glances. Yet within those rumors lies the suggestion of a defense evolving in real time, with MARIST LIUFAU positioned as a central piece of a new, less predictable Cowboys identity. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.